Alright, time for another DraftPhysics.com, DebatePhysics.com. But again, all the candidates, somebody capable of making a video, someone capable of, having some language skills. You can't find a single person capable of making a reasoned response to anything. It's just not possible. And so all of these science lovers, you know, are really, they're just religious kooks, and they're afraid to have their own religion examined. And it's just that simple, right? I mean, it's the old dodge, you have to prove your theory, I don't have to prove mine. It's just that simple. So I don't have to give you, I've given, right, over and over again in all these thousands of videos, all of my reasoning, all the reasons why I believe what I believe. Where do they provide any of that? Because frankly, they just have to say it's because, well, Sean Carroll says so. They don't have any better reason. They don't have any, I saw it, I can understand it, I can draw it. None of that. So anyway, this McToon douche. God, it's so bad. So all he can do, the best he can do as an email to me is to say, sounds like you're a crybaby that doesn't understand physics. Perfect flurf. So again, and so that's his response to me making the accusation that your physics is flat earth bullshit, and you only get away with it because you're a majority, and that's it. There's no reason you should get away with it because it's junk science. It's garbage. You can't defend it. You can't make a video defending it. All you can do is propagandize for it. You can play your banjo on the bandwagon, but if I stop the bandwagon and force you to explain what the fuck you're doing or why you're doing it, you're not going to be able to handle it. Okay. And you're a coward. You're just a despicable, shit-talking coward. All right, so then he says in the comments, 25 minutes and you're whining. So again, this is just bullshit. I'm making physics arguments. And, that's what the videos are all full of, is physics arguments. I'm saying things like, well, do you have any evidence it takes 25 times the fuel to spin a motor 5 times as fast? 25 times the electricity. Do you have any evidence at all? No, you don't. TDDR, whatever that means, you don't understand physics. So he keeps saying the words, I don't understand physics, when, well, frankly, physicists don't understand the truth, because I can just keep playing the Professor Lewin clip, with the weighted carts, the clay on his cart. Okay, and you want me to publicly humiliate you. Yes, that's the whole thing. Let's take the challenge. So maybe you could humiliate my hairstyle. Maybe you could humiliate some other aspect about how my mannerisms or something else. Let me see you humiliate the physics. So, I'll play some of the simulation, later in this video. So show how it's bad science. Show how this simulation of charge, made with these simple little ingredients, and perfectly duplicates Maxwell's model, drawing of what charges are and how they behave. Go ahead and humiliate it. Show how it's garbage science. Oh, you're just such pieces of shit. Such weaselly pieces of shit. Oh, I can't believe people support these morons. You really, all you people don't want to see them defend their physics. You don't want to see them win with their great arguments and their great evidence. Shit. Oh, it's just so lame. You obviously doubt, your physics. That's why you want them to run away. It's because you don't believe it either. All right. In all seriousness, if you can take anything serious, so this is my counter, my reply. How much would I have to pay you to make a video titled something like Proof that 1/2 VMV isn't as dumb as Flat Earth? So how much would I have to pay you to make the video? Oh, God, these people, they're just such scum. And speaking of scum, Oh, okay. Somebody else said something somewhere before I refresh the page. Get him, Toon. He showed up in my feed today crying about Simon Dan debunking him. So we know there was no debunk in that video. So again, these people, they can't tell the truth. They don't care about the truth. That's the joke, right? They're out there pretending they're the great defenders of the truth, and they can't put sentences together that have any truth value. They have no respect at all for the truth, quite obviously. I think he just wants to pick fights with the big dogs. Well, why would I want to pick a fight with a little dog, right? So if I was picking fights with the little dogs, wouldn't that look a lot worse? Oh, that would look just like a flat earth debunker. Let's go find sick and retarded people and try to kick them in the face. Oh, shit. And make money doing it. Oh, amazing crap. Okay. And he needs to be knocked down a couple of pegs. Yes, it's not going to happen from you, okay, weak ass. So he's Memory Arc Studios. So this is who would want the word arc? If you're going to be somebody connected with the denial of the religious kooks and the flat earthers, I don't think you want arc in your fucking goddamn screen name. Oh, priceless. Thank you. I mean, you're just proving my point. And then Piro. Okay, so Piro is going to now be blocked because his commenter, he says nothing about physics. It's all this whining about how he makes great arguments, and somehow nobody, I certainly can't see any great argument anywhere. I can't see anything to even respond to. It's all just crap. So we'll read them and be done with him. The KE conspiracy. So I have pointed out over and over again these videos, right? I don't believe in a conspiracy. I'm saying it overtly. You're really dumb people. I mean, you're fooled by round things denting clay. You're fooled by banging something, like a bang on the table quickly, and little pieces of dust will fly further. Does it mean it's more energy? I mean, you're fooled by rolling something, and you're fooled by thin ice. You don't think you can slide across thin ice quickly and avoid falling through. I mean, you're imbeciles. That's not my fault. The fact that you're dumb as shit and can't figure out simple things like, yes, velocity matters. The faster you hit something, the more likely it is you're going to fracture it instead of crush it. Oh, and you can't figure out that that's all there is here. There isn't anything else. The fact is, if you had an ideal lever, you could put the recoil of the gun on one side and the bullet on the other side, and it would work perfectly. Oh, you're just such assholes. All right, anyway, KE conspiracy would have to be just as large and be just as centuries old as flat Earth. Well, the fact is, people believed in a flat Earth when they had very good reason not to. I mean, lighthouse, you can think of so many ways that you could know the Earth isn't flat. So, when was the first lighthouse invented? Is that a gigantic giveaway? I mean, it'll rise right out of the sea? I mean, come on. Not difficult at all to add those 2 plus 2. What else could it be? How else could you explain the light rising out of the ocean? I mean, come on. This is idiotic. I mean, we've been in water for a long time, and anybody who's been out to sea, when you come back to shore, you see all the tall stuff first, and then, it has to slowly rise out of the ocean, for fuck's sake. I mean, it's so obvious. And the fact is, the world didn't. And the fact is, right now, there's centuries old. There's thousands of years of people believing in nonsensical fables. There's no conspiracy creating religion, you dumbass. And this accusation I'm directly making is that's all you people are. You want this fairy tale. You want fairy tale. You don't want the truth. You're running from it desperately. You just have your own little religion, and you're just saying my Catholicism is so much better than your Muslimness. Yeah, it's a lot better than the tree god guy. Yeah, because we have all kinds of smoking urns and statues and such. So, yeah, our religion is so much better. We have Sean Carroll, and he has a little bishop hat and everything. I mean, fuck you. Alright, so we'll remove that. You said to the other commenter the simulation could just be downloaded from the HTML. Yeah, that's when it's public, you retard. They were telling me I have to get a GitHub page and I have to do this and I have to do that. No, I don't have to do any of that crap. Okay, because the source code isn't a bunch of libraries. You don't have to just download a zip file. You don't have to compile it. None of that crap has to happen. All you do is download one HTML file. You just go to the file menu and you hit save as there, save page as there. It's going to be that easy to save the fucking simulation. That's what I said, you dumb. I mean, it's just a fact that, Piro has had, he plays with disorienting substances. And, this is all he ever is in this disoriented state. All right. You said that was possible, meaning they could do that. Yes, exactly. When it's public. Which would mean it was public. No, it wouldn't mean it was public. The fact that I just explained it's just an HTML file and you will be able to just download it by hitting save as. I said this, you dumb fuck. God. And so what's the point of arguing with somebody this fucking stupid? He can't even follow along. On an HTML page. I thought not, but I checked your lame and badly done website. Yeah, compared to what one you have, fucktard. Let's see your well done website, fuck shit. I remember you had some kind of blog. That was sure a piece of crap. For it became a thought maybe you were not lying. So, again, accusing me of lying about something when everybody else caught on. You're the only dumbass who couldn't figure out what I clearly stated. And then Superior Mind already pointed it out to you again, and you're still harping on it, you fucking retard. But to accuse me of lying about it, I mean, fuck you. God damn. Drunk. You are an idiot. Whatever. 2, in this video claim to just say, here's my response to Piro's points. So what's wrong with doing that? Okay, while saying either a bunch of slimy slurs that I don't, you should talk about slurs. I don't get what you think the point of it is. Now, there's no point in talking to you. You're not on the subject. I make physics videos. I draw the physics. I explain the physics. You don't do that. So what's the point? There's no point. You can't even agree on there being matter in the universe. You can't agree on a single premise for which there could be a conversation. So there's just no fucking point. Okay, I could not care less or think less of you. Likewise. You've destroyed any glimmer that there was ever a human being involved. Okay, you've just made it kind of obvious. Oh, Holiday was so right. You are a useless sack of dirty, smelly shit because you will not argue the argument ever. Okay, I initially do what you claim to do. No, you don't do anything. You don't address anything. You just do this over and over again. So goodbye. Ugh, what a fucking asshole. Alright, so this... sorry, buddy, but I hope one day Kurt Jamal... Why would I want to be even associated with him, right? I mean, I did email him 2 years ago, more than once. And he kept putting me off. Oh, I'm too busy. Oh, I'm this. So, I'll get to... Yeah, okay, so just bullshit, okay? Wasted my time. And then I watched some of his goddamn fucking shows, and he's talking about UFOs, for fuck's sake. Do you really think this is a real thing? I mean, it's not in this exactly the same category as being a flat earther, as to be somebody who thinks this UFO crap has any credibility. I mean, fuck you. I couldn't invite you to his podcast. It would be so nice to see you having more exposure to explain your points. His whole agenda is phantasmagorical, silly shit. He had a contest, and he, just decided, well, the winner of the contest is the wackiest theory possible. So there's no point. He doesn't know anything about unification. His whole channel is a lie. I mean, none of these aren't theories of everything. They're theories of everything stupid. Every girly, silly, wimpy, hopeful, mushy, you know, made up physics is, yes, going to be glorified by him. So fuck you. I won't block you, but, fuck you. Anyway, you keep saying billions of years, but there are facts at play that you ain't giving, like the type of rock. Okay, we already did some of this, right? So this is not new. And who cares? I mean, you really want to argue about the minutia of how water could erode rock and how it really does it in most cases, that it really has to have ions in it. It really has to have some chemistry or it's not going to do much because the water molecules really don't want to stick to anything. But anyway, fuck you. This is just too stupid. All right. Let's see. Here's an experiment you could be done. Take a hydraulic generator and run a given mass of water through it at a high speed. So why don't I just pressurize a hose? What's the difference? What's the difference? Okay, well anyway, let's say 100 kilograms at 100 meters connected to a generator or a battery. Yeah, you could do that with a water. You can buy it right now. You can buy LED lights, okay, with little generators in them that you can put on your faucet. And you turn on your faucet and a little light goes blink, 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 stealing energy from the water pressure. Then take 10 times the mass of water and run it through the same generator at a lower speed. Let's say, look, Archimedes did this shit. If any of this worked, okay, they would have done it with water wheels. It doesn't work. I mean, all you can do is, try to make the water wheel hit as much water as possible, but you can't, double the speed of the water and quadruple how fast the wheel turns. You can't do it. It doesn't work. There is no extra energy with velocity. There's no extra energy in a water hose. You can't get any more than the hose pressure is providing. That's all there is. There isn't any more. All you can do is move the momentum. There's nothing else in the reality. And that's the whole point. They have no evidence. They can't use these devices because they won't prove their point. Just like they've never done the simple contest. Bang the 5-ton train, the 5 mass going 10 into the 10 mass going 5 and watch the collision stay right there. This is supposed to have twice as much energy, right? So the collision should be pushed with the thing that has twice as much energy. No, it doesn't happen. Count the fender benders. No extra fender benders. Nothing. No evidence whatsoever. And they just don't do these experiments because it'll prove the point again. So they've never measured any of it. They've never proven 4 pounds dropped 1 foot is the same energy as 1 pound dropped 4 feet. The reason why they haven't proved it is because it doesn't work. Have it charge a separate identical battery. Momentum water would be the same, and the system should have the same losses and inefficiencies when changing both identical batteries. Right? You don't need you don't need extraordinary amounts of pressure. If it turned out that the battery with the high velocity, low mass water were charged more, it would then concede that kinetic energy, right? And just like, you could just run a car and just say, well, let's double the speed and see if we use 4 times the gas. And then let's do the real thing, let's, whatever you would call 5 times the speed, and see if we use 25 times the gas. I mean, look, there's really no argument here, is there? Do you people, like I said, what percentage of these people, if they had to answer the question honestly, okay, like with somebody with a gun to their kid's head or something, they actually had to honestly answer the question because something real was at stake. Like if they're lying, they get a steel rod in their eye. Would they really say they believe it takes 25 times the electricity to spin a motor 5 times as fast? Really? And again, spinning just defeats. The only reason why I use spinning is because it defeats all the silly relativity arguments. You can't use gamma, okay? You can't use some bizarre imaginary nonsense to justify the nonsense. Some Einsteinian crapola. It's in a different frame. You can't use any of that crap. All right. The experiment could even be repeated by discharging and then swapping the batteries. Like I said, you could use capacitors. They're probably more efficient, and ensure that one isn't defective and otherwise causing a discrepancy. The point is, though, right, you have to recognize that the speed difference is going to create a voltage difference. So you do have to take advantage of these realize that your wattage is all you're really trying to measure. So you have to have something that can absorb wattage at 12 volts or at 24 volts, that kind of thing. Let's see. Bro's doing simple algebra and thinks he's a genius. So Bro is not interested in being called Bro. Zachary Correlatus. So some asshole. So piss on his grave. Future. Piss on his grave. All right. Rainbow. Oh, that's a great screen name. You think 5-ton train going 10 miles an hour can beat a 10-ton train going 5 miles an hour in a tug of war? That's a perfectly sensible question, isn't it? Shouldn't we all want to know the answer? Wouldn't it be really cool to see the crash of the two trains even? So you're going to be dishonest and say, no, you really don't want to see that. Okay. That just proves you don't understand the theory. Okay, so what's the fucking theory then, right? The energy is non-existent and unusable. It's dark energy. Oh, okay, didn't know that. It only shows up when you say hippy, skippy, dippy, whippy. So when you say those magic words, then the energy poofs into existence. But without those special little words, it's hidden and you can't find it. Okay, that's not what kinetic means. Well, you can keep saying this gibberish, right? It's just such nonsense. It's not what kinetic energy means. It doesn't mean energy. It means, little men inside the, matter, and they're hiding the energy in a big flywheel or something. You should invest some time in studying physics. So this is just all waste of time nonsense, right? You should get your head out of your anus, okay, and stick it where it belongs, in a rhinoceros's anus. Okay, let's see. Time physics before debunking physics. I mean, this isn't a counter argument shit for brain. Okay. If the rope was elastic and stretched, so why would we bother with an elastic and stretched rope? But regardless, it's not going to change the results any. It's not going to change the results any. Okay. I can probably even show Julius Sumner doing that experiment, actually. He actually had two carts on a rubber band, and he pulls them apart when he's explaining momentum. And he's basically saying, show you conservation of momentum. So, he's basically pointing out in that experiment, oh yeah, well, we're not paying attention to kinetic energy because it's not here, so I can't show you kinetic energy. So let's do a momentum experiment using the two carts. So he just makes the point that the twice as massive one moves twice as slow, blah, 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 blah. Not complicated. All right, so it's just ridiculous. So this is his claim now is, if the rope was elastic and stretched, the 5-ton train would do most of the stretching work. So where's your evidence of it? Where did you prove that? Where did you show that? Where is that in the annals of physics even? Where can I go to hear a professor say that? Because I've never heard a professor say that. Okay. It moves faster, so it's able to travel more distance during the time both trains decelerate to zero. Yeah, and the distance is irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. All right. That is what kinetic energy means. It doesn't mean a damn thing. And again, the Mythbusters crashed the cars right into a brick wall. No evidence that the twice as fast car had 4 times the energy. Only crushed twice as much. Not 3 times as much. Certainly not 4 times as much. And there is plenty of experimental evidence. So they keep saying these magic words. There's plenty of evidence. I just can't find any of it and link to it. You just think everyone is cheating. Well, you're lying. So isn't that the same thing as cheating? What's worse, cheating or lying? Lying about cheating? Is that what you're doing? Yes, that is what you're doing, frankly. You're cheating by pretending there's some experiment that where you saw the 5-ton train do more work when you never saw that experiment. So yeah, you're a lying cheater. You are like a flat earther. So again, just absolutely nothing. So rainbow was pretty much, as the screen name describes, a bunch of diffracted light. Okay, he wasn't anywhere on the subject. Oh, brother, these people are just so fucking stupid. Third comment, I think we did this, right? You seem to be literally dancing around the concept of kinetic energy. No, I don't think that's what I'm doing. So let's see what the first comment is. All right, here's a good way to think about the difference between momentum and kinetic energy. The difference between something real and something completely made up. Yes, I already know the difference. While the single object moving at 1,000 miles an hour can transfer momentum to 1,000 separate objects, each moving 1 mile per hour, there's no way for... So here's where you're going to fail dismally. For you to transfer momentum from 1,000 separate objects moving 1 mile an hour back to the original object, such as it will resume motion at 1,000 miles an hour. Well, who cares whether I can reverse it? That's not the argument. The argument is if I put the speeding bullet into a bunch of, say, rubber balls or something, that the speeding bullet will just impart its momentum. It can't impart anything else. The ballistic pendulum already proves the point. You can't convert the kinetic energy into usable momentum. Hear that again. You can't convert the kinetic energy into usable momentum. All right. In other words, velocity is a one-way street. Well, it's really not a one-way street, and it's really not about velocity. That has to do with breaking a glass, and then I'm thinking you could just drop it again, and somehow it's going to bang back together again. So yes, things fall apart easier than they're put together. But the fact is they can be put together, and the universe is doing it all the time by putting all those, making all those suns. All those suns being created by gravity are the opposite of your entropy argument. Okay, objects with higher velocity have sufficient energy to transfer all of their momentum to objects of lower velocity. That's not true. You hit something with a bullet, it doesn't transfer all of its energy in linear motion, retard. So a bunch of pieces fly off in all kinds of directions. It fractures the motion. But never the other way around. The ballistic pendulum is proving you wrong. The speeding bullet, you can't collect the kinetic energy. There's no way to collect it. You can't collect it as actual usable motion. All right. So there's no real world example here. So this will be another lie. So he's going to pretend there's an experiment, and there's no experiment. Okay, to use a real world example, no, imagine it. I don't have a real world example. We're supposed to imagine the real world example. You know, and these people are mocking flat Earth. I mean, you know, you don't think that's like an, imbecilic language to use? A real world example. Imagine. Anyway, the likely outcomes of a person being hit by a 4,000-pound car moving 1 mile an hour versus one object traveling at 4,000 miles an hour. The car likely bumps them slightly. Yeah, well, we've already dealt with this. So you're really stupid enough to think that surface area decides how much energy you have. Or the fact that you can, use karate to break a piece of wood, and that you did the same work as if you tried to break it by bending it. Yeah, it takes more work to break it by bending it than fracturing it. It takes more work to break a glass by trying to crush it than it takes to flick a high velocity at it. It doesn't mean the high velocity has more energy. It means that it applied the energy to the weakness. Okay, it's like breaking somebody's leg, right? You can hit him at the knee joint, or you can hit him in the thigh. which one is more likely to cause a disablement? you know, I could kick you in the ass or I could kick you in the nuts. Do you think there's a difference, jackass? Yeah, there is. All right, the moving object 4,000 miles likely turns them into red mist. So again, he can't understand the difference between surface area and velocity. That velocity is an advantage if you want to break something, but it doesn't mean it has more energy. And certainly pointing an arrow, I use that argument. Do you really think the pointy arrow has 100 times more energy because it penetrated 100 times further? You that stupid? Are you that stupid? How come he's not answering? Damn. Anyway, I guess he is that stupid. All right, edit. Fuck this. What you are referring to as energy in your bullet and ballistic gel example. I never say anything about a ballistic gel, but whatever. I talked about a ballistic pendulum. Okay, example is momentum. The bullet can't move the gel much because it has very little momentum. It has the same momentum as the gun recoil. Okay, but that's the truth. It isn't thousands of joules of energy, and the fact is there aren't thousands of joules of energy. It doesn't have them. Okay, it's a tiny mass moving fast. A tiny mass moving fast doesn't have any more energy than a heavy mass moving slow. If they have the same momentum, they have the same energy. And there's no experimental evidence demonstrating otherwise. And you just keep doing all this silly talking without showing any evidence. Again, just show me it taking 25 times the fuel to make something move five times faster. It has exponentially more energy. Just saying these words, this is meaningless. The whole argument is about the fact that you haven't got any proof. You have no evidence to defend your flat earth theory. Okay, if you look at high-speed footage of a bullet impacting ballistic gel, so again, this is meaningless. Let's put the recoiling gun in the shape of an arrow, okay, and watch it penetrate gel. And then we could even take it a step further and we could enhance the speed. So we could cut the weight of the recoiling gun, by, say, 5 and make its velocity 5 times faster. And we'd be even more impressed, frankly, about how much it looks so much like the bullet now. You will see cavitation, basically an internal explosion within the gel when the bullet impacts. So what? That's exactly my point. My point is the gel can't transfer the energy and it starts to vaporize, starts to do all kinds of things because you're putting the energy in faster than the material can absorb it. I mean, you can't understand. Again, you can't understand the simple argument that there's a difference between, same energy. I can apply the same energy to a glass, pressing on it. Or I could apply a tiny ping in one location, and one will break the glass and the other won't. Does it prove that the same energy isn't the same energy? No. But you're too stupid. You can't understand the thin ice argument. You go across the thin ice by changing how you're putting the pressure on the ice. All right, that is where most of the energy goes. So says you, this is just talk. You keep telling me things that you have no evidence to defend. You can't defend your statements with any experimental evidence. All right, if it's round and fast enough and are enough, the cavitation, blah, 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 who cares? Who cares? This is also a large part of what causes bullet to kill someone. Again, more bullshit. I can kill somebody with the recoiling gun if we just change the shape of the gun. Just a fact. I can change the shape of the gun, right? I can make it a very, very tiny, narrow tube, long tube, and it'll go right into somebody and kill them. Fact. The cavitation is really not good for your organs. Oh, just fuck you. Fuck you. So zero evidence that any more molecules were moved by the bullet than the recoiling gun. No evidence that more atoms move distance. No evidence that you can use an 8-pound ball going 16 miles an hour, or you can use a 16-pound ball going 8 miles an hour, and somehow you'll make more pins move with the 8-pound ball. Zero evidence. All right. Work is a unit of energy. That would be fine if your work equation wasn't retarded, okay? Because work isn't force times distance. Change in position times force. Fuck you. So if the kinetic energy of the bullet creates a force on the clay and moves in all directions, that creates work with very little heat. So again, how could you possibly, how does it stop moving? The clay stops moving, so where's the energy gone? Again, you just don't give a shit about physics, right? I mean, Richard Feynman said it, but lots of physicists talk about the conservation of momentum, and you have to conserve it, and you have to, even the conservation of energy. And the very idea that somehow energy can be canceled or destroyed is nonsense. So you always have to account for where it is now. So if it was moving clay, where'd it go when it stopped moving the clay? Fucktard. This still seems consistent from that point of view. I will say that energy is a very vague topic. Well, for you it is. It's the fundamental to physics is motion in the universe. And anything that's moving in the universe, you've got to say has energy, because we don't know anything that can move and not hit something and hurt it. So everything that we know of that can move has energy. And the fact is, the energy is its momentum. Just find out what its mass is, find out what its velocity is, and you know how much it can make other things move. All right, topic. And it's generally very misunderstood, well, certainly by you. And after watching this video, I feel that kinetic energy is more like potential energy. So again, this is baby talk. If I put a boat on the shore of the Mississippi River, are you really going to tell me that boat has potential energy? You have to allow something to free fall for it to acquire velocity from gravity, okay? It doesn't have any potential energy. It doesn't have anything. It has to acquire it from being in the force. And the force is a time-dependent force. You get a certain amount of it per a unit of time. Fucktard. And potential energy is more like kinetic energy. Oh, this is just baby talk. Baby, goo, 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 ba, 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 ba. Since potential energy is being exhausted, so fuck that. I'm not going to have conversations about fake potentials, okay? It's just not true. It's not how gravity works. And so you want to talk about a battery having potential because you've smashed atoms together and now they can be, blown apart? Well, that makes sense. That's real storage. There's no potential energy from just something sitting on the side of the Mississippi River. It just goes to show how vague energy can be. Ha ha. Well, fuck you. There's nothing vague about it. Newton had it right, Galileo had it right, Descartes had it right, and all you imbeciles have it way wrong. How did I get on his comments when I was doing this other morons? Second comment, third comment. He doesn't say fourth comment. I don't know. Anyway. Second comment, why does a gun cause slightly uncomfortable I already did this so many times. I did this in the video you're responding to, for fuck's sake. It's because it's hitting more surface area. Big reason, okay? Second reason is, yeah, it's slower. Slower things have more pushing force, okay? They can have a pushing torque, or they can have a higher velocity and less torque. And the point is that depending on the material, you can take advantage of that. So if I make a bucket of cornstarch, you're not going to get anywhere, with something with a high velocity. But something with a low velocity and a lot of torque, yeah, it'll go right through it. Fuck, you're just so, these people are, if this is going to trip you up, you can't figure out what surface area is, and you can't understand that materials provide advantage, a change in advantage versus regarding velocity, that velocity matters. It doesn't mean it has more energy. It just means that the thing is weak. The thing has a weakness and you can take advantage of the weakness. Oh, and you can't understand that. Pathetic. If momentum is the only factor at play here, wouldn't the gun and bullet have exactly the same momentum? They do have the same momentum, for fuck's sake. Oh, God damn it. So he doesn't even know that. All right, I don't know. I'm getting tired. And cause exactly the same effect. So you fucked your own comment by not recognizing that the subject is this fact that you can't conserve both momentum and kinetic energy. And the fact is the bullet has the same momentum as the recoil of the gun. And the only thing that's different is your claim that the magical bullet has more energy. Since they clearly don't, so you're clearly not proving that. So again, the argument would be is, make the joule tank, and let the recoiling gun go into the joule tank and measure the rise in temperature, and then let the bullet go into the tank and measure the rise in temperature. And the fact is, I think a lot of physicists will tell you they'll have the same temperature, which explains exponentially larger impact of the bullet. No, so nothing was explained. You didn't even come close to an explanation. Fucktard. Ugh, fuck. Third comment. You seem to be literally dancing around the concept of kinetic energy. I don't even know. For 3 solid years now, I've been on it almost exclusively on this subject, and I couldn't be any clearer in stating it's a fable, fucktard. There's no evidence for it. It's like believing in Vulcan. It's just nonsense. Something a kid does. Okay. You keep saying if you apply the energy quicker. Yeah, there's a difference between how you can apply energy, just like there is with electricity. You can have a high voltage at a low amperage, or you can have a high amperage and a low voltage. And the two things will do different things. The low voltage at high amperage will melt wires, okay, and the high voltage will make sparks. The force manifests differently, but it's the same wattage, you retard. Or if you expect the force faster, the material reacts differently. Duh. This is why we have a v squared. So I don't understand why you have a v squared. No, I'm sorry. There's absolutely no evidence it's more energy. There's no evidence that the fucking 5-ton train hitting the 10-ton train going 5 and the 5-ton train going 10 and this one wins because it has more energy. There's no evidence. There's no evidence that the car going 100 miles an hour has 4 times more crushing energy. It doesn't, than the 50-mile-an-hour crash. You just keep lying. You have no evidence is what you're supposed to say. I can't prove it. I can't show it. I can't do a damn thing but talk this shit over and over and over again. Oh, God, it's just so bad. The effect of something moving quicker is not literally proportional to its effect. Yeah, obviously every substance is going to be different. It is exponentially impacted by velocity. So there's no evidence of your exponential increase in energy. There's no experimental evidence. You have no links to any experiments. You have nothing to show this fucking goddamn fucking bullshit ever being collected. You keep saying you expect the bullet to move something 100 times faster than you're going to. No, they have equal momentum. So again, he's conceding the energy can't be used. So I can't get anything more than the momentum out of the bullet. So the bullet has 2,000 joules, and I can only get 2 out of it. It's just amazing. The effect will be vastly different, however. That's the kinetic energy. How can it have a different effect if it's moving them the same? If the spaceship doesn't turn, how did they have a different effect? The spaceship didn't turn, shit for brain. Oh, it's just such a waste of time. These people are so fucking stupid. Here's an experiment you could be done. Take hydro... Okay, so we did this one. Okay, so at least we're done with that guy. Ugh. Nonsense. I found the whole thing intriguing. I watched some of your other videos on the same topic. I swear I distinctly remember you state... So he's going to lie about me again? Anyway, stating that momentum and kinetic energy are in conflict with each other. Every single time you try to transfer the energy from 2 different masses, you cannot conserve both. Fact. That's a conflict, retard. If you're not conserving it, then you have to concede something's wrong. Because everybody believes the energy has to be conserved. So whether you believe in kinetic energy or believe in momentum, you have to believe in one or the other. Because you can't conserve both, you dumb fuck. Okay. With each other. I just chatted with ChatGTP. Yeah, right. So you just asked, idiocracy. I'll go ask the idiocracy and see what it says. Why don't you just go straight to Wikipedia? I mean, what's the difference, right? I mean, ChatGTP is just Wikipedia. Okay. In order to understand exactly, there are two different things or exactly. What? In order to understand exactly what those two things are exactly. In short, they measure different things. What are you talking about? What are they measuring? If they're not measuring movement in the universe, then there's no point in having the conversation because movement is energy. Movement, heat is movement. Everything is movement. Movement is energy in the universe. There's no other way to have energy in this universe without something jiggling somewhere. All right. Let's see. In short, they measure different things, shouldn't be in conflict. Well, fuck you. I mean, that's way too short, fucker. Okay, one thing moving a speed of 100 compared to 100 things moving speed of 1 have the same momentum, but their kinetic energy is very different. We're not talking about very different. We're talking about 100 times different. And in the bullet case, it's 1,000 times different. It's gigantic difference. An insanely gigantic difference. 25 times the fuel to go 5 times as fast. It's a ludicrous, silly, gigantic, nonsense pile of shit crap. The car does not crush 25 times more. Because it took more kinetic energy to get one thing moving the speed of 100. So he just keeps saying it. Where's your fucking evidence that it took one tiny bit more gasoline than 5 times the gasoline to go 5 times as fast? Where do you have a shred of evidence that it even took 6 times the gas to go 5 times as fast, or 7 times the gas to go 5 times as fast? You don't have evidence of that, let alone 25 times the fuel. I'm not versed in this stuff. Then why the fuck are you commenting, you fucking idiot? Which is why I use ChatGPT. I'm just intrigued and dabbling and not trying to have a debate. Well, don't bother, fucktard. This stuff is sort of important, okay? And we really don't need little kids running around making noises. Fuck. I just hate this planet. Let's see. You are a science denier and you need to repent. Okay, so this is Lost Beetle. These are supposed to be like atheists fighting creationists, and he's using the word repent. Amazing. Amazing. Alright. It's just so bad. Alright, so let's see. You don't need... I'm sorry about you guys having problems commenting, but it's a YouTube thing. I mean, it's everywhere. So, I mean, I don't know if it's any worse here than everywhere else, but yeah, it's bad. Let's see. So yeah, he was talking to Piro about the source code, and just so stupid. Okay, yo, old man, do you know what a theorem is? So, what's the use in this? So again, another non-argument. Ugh, fuck, just gibberish. Heat contains zero momentum. So I love that part, right? So he's actually saying that when an atom's moving and the electrons and protons all have mass, and when they're moving, that's not momentum. Okay. Yeah. It's just so funny. Okay, so yeah, I'll read that later. Let's see. Crock pottery at work again. So another non-argument saying absolutely nothing. It's just, why the fuck are you bothering? The guy is fighting anti-intellectualism. So he's saying that somehow they're the intellectuals. And they can't produce any evidence to defend their religion. They're just going to tell me dogmatically what they think the truth is, and they can't prove it, they can't show it, no evidence at all. MV squared walks on water, and it can make fish sandwiches like for everybody because MV squared is just so cool. MV squared is the savior. It'll come here. It's going to save us all. If it wasn't for MV squared, we wouldn't have all kinds of other squared stuff that you can't square. You know, yeah, it really is hard to imagine exactly how the fuck you could possibly square a fucking velocity. I mean, what the fuck does that mean? Squared velocity? Are you going to have a cube velocity someday? What the fuck are you talking about? How the fuck do you square a fucking goddamn velocity? It's like squaring a fucking kilogram. I have a square kilogram. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, I sound like Mickey Mouse. That was funny. I'll have to try that impersonation someday. I didn't know I had a Mickey Mouse in me, but it was there. I was just sitting here. All of a sudden, Mickey pops out. It must be MV squared at work. It's the wonderful. Yeah, it's allowing me to challenge cartoon. You know what do they call that? Not challenge. Channel cartoon characters. Oh, the marvels of the MV squared. Ooh, let's all bow and pray to it. Maybe we can find an MV squared on a piece of toast. Woo, 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 woo. You people really are just such ignorant, stupid, fucking pieces of cunt shit. God damn, I hate this planet. Alright, anyway, that's enough of a video. Just so fucking stupid. So in all of this crap, not a single link to a physics experiment.